Thank you.
Watching Jazz Gallery. We're going to let the players and the listeners take a little break, and we don't want you to go away because we're going to do a little table hopping, and I want you to come with me while we talk to some very interesting people, some people that had a lot to do with the growth of jazz and the establishment of the lab band program in the North Texas State University. The man that I am going to sit and talk with just for a few moments, this is Gene Hall. And Gene was there when it all got started. And you see joining us, Leon Breeden. Leon, we don't give you a chance to rest, do we?
That's all right.
That's the way it goes, though, when you're a popular, important man. First of all, I think maybe we better get to that important announcement. Gene, you've got something to tell everyone, or maybe we better go to let's go to Gene first. We'll go to Gene Hall first, and we're going to find out. What were things like when it all started back there? What was it, 1947?
1947.
That's right.
That's a long time back.
It certainly was. That's some 29 years.
I was very young when I started.
Oh, right. Of course. Right. So we know that you're still a very young man. You are currently teaching at Stephen F. Austin.
Stephen F. Austin State University down in Nacogdoches.
Right. And something very important has happened to you this year, just like some important things have happened to the North Texas State 1 o'clock lab band. Namely, they were nominated for a Grammy, and they're going to make an important announcement in just a moment. Gene, what's happened to you this year? You were nominated Professor of the Year, I think it was, right?
Well, as with Leon was nominated Outstanding Professor at North Texas State, and I was given the honor of being Distinguished Professor at Stephen F. Austin, which to me was a very unique thing, because Leon very well knows that jazz has not been considered too respectable as an academic field. And when a faculty, this was open vote of the faculty, will recognize work in two different universities as being, maybe we're respectable, Leon?
It's monumental. I think it's very important, really, to the ongoing of education.
I do too. I think it's
really feel so. Not for us personally. I think you agree with me. Our students have made us look good. Is that not?
Well, we've always heard that kind of modesty, but we know that it also took a lot of, I guess we could just say, plain old sheer guts, because back in those days, the very word jazz meant disrespect, loud noises coming from strange instruments and so forth.
We couldn't use the term jazz in those days.
That's right. That brings to mind the fact that you use the term stage band. And you were the first one to apply that term to the jazz band. Is that true?
Well, we borrowed the term from a band that was working on the campus at North Texas State. Floyd Graham started a stage band program every Saturday night in 1927, carried it through to 1961, and he called his band the stage band because it played programs from a stage. Well, when we started this jazz program, most of our programs emanated from the stage, so we just sort of borrowed the term. And then it spread and became a nationwide term. And the people in New York didn't like that because of the connotations of the stage in New York City. They wanted to call it a dance band up there, but there were more people that wanted to call it a stage band, so I guess we won out.
And whatever you call it, it's still good music and it's all good jazz, right?
Well,
it is. We've got some important things to say. Leon, I'm going to just turn it all over to you. I want you to tell our viewers what's going to happen on June 2nd.
We have the great honor of representing the United States. The State Department has called upon us to represent the United States in this bicentennial year, 25, a party of 25. We will go to Lisbon, to Oporto, to Almeida, Guimarães, in Portugal first. Then we go over to Russia. We will be going, playing in 5 cities, which the State Department is quite happy about because it's the first time a cultural group has ever had the honor of 5 cities. It's usually about 3. I would state emphatically that this is a great honor. With it comes great, great responsibility. We will be going strictly 100% as musicians, as artists. And we will hope, we know that we'll be under surveillance every time we take a breath, but we hope that we will be of such character and of such family togetherness and of such unity that the people over there will see in us what democracy really means. We're not going to sell anybody anything. We're going to play music and hope that people to people we can spread the good word about what has happened in America. And I personally, and I know Gene shares this, I think they're going to be amazed when they find out, if they give these university-age students a chance, Gene, what they can do.
Oh, it's
when they hear our kids do it, they're going to be astounded.
It's unbelievable.
Well, I hope that's what we're going to try to do.
This has to be a record year for you, really. Nominated for a Grammy, the first university lab band to be nominated.
3 years, I think.
on your laurels. I think you've earned it. You've deserved it. Deserved it. That's really fantastic. How many will be going with you on the tour?
Well, we have a party of 25, 20-piece band. Frank Lively will be going as administrative assistant. We have 2 stage personnel whose job will be to record, to set up stage, tear down stage, and all of it. You know, all the details behind the scenes. We're just, you know what was amazing? They called to give us the itinerary. We didn't know until about 2 days ago exactly what cities. Tbilisi, Yerevan, Baku, Leningrad, Moscow. On the 4th of July, we have a gala party and a reception at Leningrad, and then at Moscow on the 6th, I think. But the State Department said we had to turn down many, many cities that wanted you guys. They wanted the band over there.
You have a reputation in other countries, is what you're saying, already. Is that right?
Yes.
Before going.
Yes, Willis Conover has been our friend. He's the voice of America, the jazz spokesman. Gene knows him very well, and he has played our recordings. Radio Free Europe has played our recordings. At our fall concert, unknown to anyone here, we were not permitted to tell anyone. We had a guest from the Kremlin in our audience at North Texas in the main auditorium, sitting in the midst of our audience, and a State Department representative who was the interpreter. This young man, I met him before the concert, at intermission, and after the concert. And after the concert, he rushed up and he was jabbering something to me, and the interpreter said, "Just a minute, slow down." He said, "He is saying that he's glad, he sees that you Americans save the best for last." He said, "We've seen the Philadelphia Ballet, we've seen the Metropolitan Opera, we've seen Chicago," and he named 4 other groups, and he said he was just elated. He was very happy.
How does it make you feel, Gene, to know that you were there when it all started, and look what it's come to now? We're proud to have the North Texas Lab
This
Band.
vindicates my whole philosophy of life, and the caliber of the band today makes me look good. I mean, it keeps me alive. It's just tremendous.
You all just don't want to take any credit.
Well, we're so proud of these students.
The kids are what make it, you know. And Leon is an administrator like you've never seen before. He takes care of things. He gets it done. He gets the job done.
Very good. We've got a lot of North Texas X's here tonight. People who have come through the Lab Band program, people who have made it on their own out there in the big bad world. I guess we can call it that from time to time. It sometimes seems that way, I think, for jazz musicians. What do you think is happening to the sound of jazz? We changed a lot in the last, let's say, 15, 20 years?
Quite a bit.
Well, from Gene's days, I know, now that's awful to say, isn't it? My goodness.
No, but it has to.
You were a little ahead of me.
It has to, because the culture changes.
It is changing,
Sure.
and it should change, and if I were dedicated to the perpetuation of the music I grew up with, it would be Benny Goodman you'd hear tonight. That's all. And I used to come home with my Benny Goodman Sing, 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 and Don't Be That Way. And my father said, "Son, what is that stuff you bring home? How about Alexander's Ragtime Band? How about some of those good tunes? They don't write those anymore."
No,
so it's always changing.
If the band doesn't update itself, it'll be out of, you may as well write it off. It has to play today's music.
We're talking about progress. That's what we're talking about.
And giving these young students a chance to say something. They've got it in them, they need to say it.
I don't want to hear them play Sing, Sing, Sing.
We got a surprise. You're going to hear us play
You don't want to hear them.
Oh,
I was
really?
going to say, you've got to keep everybody happy. And there's some people in the audience and at home that want to hear some of those good old greats, and we're going to make them happy too in the second half. We'll also have vocalists coming on the second half of the show. So we want everyone to stay tuned and don't go away, because there's lots more to come. I'm going to take a little stroll now. I'm going to move a little bit further on, if it's all right with the powers that be. Thank you so much, Gene Hall, for being with us, and thank you, Leon, for taking time out of your break.
We are honored to be here.
To talk with me. Okay, fine. We're going to take you on over to another table, and we're going to talk to some very interesting people, some people that are doing it, I guess we could say. Yes, they're definitely doing it. The people that I'm going to talk with at this table, and I'll introduce the lady first. This is Miss Gloria Morgan. She is a jazz pianist, singer, and composer. And Thomas, who is also an excellent composer, arranger, trumpet player, how can I say it? He is Dr. Tom Wordle, for those of you who may have known him in his days back in North Texas, and we are pleased to have you. And they're smiling. Do you see the smile on their faces? Why are you smiling?
Oh, we just heard some real good music.
Very
by
definitely.
some very exciting people.
How does that make you feel to see what's going on with these students? You were once one of those folks up there on the stage, North Texas 1 o'clock lab bander.
I feel a little bit nostalgic, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think particularly this is a, you know, we say, well, we've probably been bicentennial to death, but all of this coming to the band this year, the Grammy Award. Would you ever have imagined, Thomas, in your day, perhaps, and I say your day, that's not fair, but in your day, when you were back there, you know, blowing your horn, could you ever have imagined that a college lab band would be nominated for a Grammy?
Yes.
You did imagine it?
Oh, yes. Yes, certainly.
You had a lot more foresight than some other people.
Well, it's not really that unusual, because you have very creative people, and you have a university that is opening the door. And so, of course, things are going to happen. That's really all anyone needs is to have the door open. And things like what you all are doing tonight, that helps keep the door open.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that. Of course, we're glad to hear you say that. Gloria, what did you want to say?
I'm encouraged